Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Remi, let's not try to get this down. Yeah, so one of the challenges I have with him, I'm actually trying to now, which it came up yesterday. So Remi is very expressive in his opinions and thoughts and feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday he was very reactive, very kind of on his girth line, very ear pinny, very bitey. When I put a saddle on him, he was very, very reactive. He really has no reason to have ulcers, but you know, that's the first thought when they act that way.
Yeah.
So I always have a hard time. What's behavioral and what's physical?
Okay, we're going to go through this today. These are going to be our other questions here. Because sometimes when you start breathing, they start having opinions about some things. And because they come out of that place of checkout or distraction. Because what he's been trying to do is he feels something, and so he distracts himself by being fidgety or something like that. But once he's breathing in his body, then he goes, what do I do with this emotion? What do I do with this feeling? We're going to help him out with that today with some other questions we're going to ask. So we're going to give him a chance to express himself without having to feel like he's not heard or we didn't notice something. Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's it. Sometimes it's when you breathe, they actually come up and say, you know, by the way, I did get bothered by this. I did get bothered by that. And we're going to help them through those little places where, oh, that was a problem. Okay. So with that said, let's start. Has he been able to, when you ask him, are you breathing? Can he start to breathe? Do you notice changes in him?
So yes, when I first I've not been able to practice it with him, but maybe 2 times. When I first ask him, he has the response of his ears tuned to me and he hangs out. He relaxes, but then I've been doing it in the herd environment, then he gets distracted with somebody else. The weather's been so bad here. It's been terribly cold or snowing or raining and
okay. And this is all okay. And I'm going to tell you, because yesterday I actually did in person, we did this breathing with a horse. And when I first asked him to breathe, he would get all fidgety and then he'd walk off and he wouldn't want to do anything. And so I kept just doing it in little doses, like, are you breathing? And then I would imagine his breath moving through his body like we did the last time. Okay. And he could kind of hold it for a second, then he'd have to get fidgety and walk off and do what he just did. He just had to release something on that. Okay, so it takes him a little while at first, because it probably feels different when they breathe through their whole body instead of just kind of shallow breathing. So what we want to see is lots of blinking like he's doing now. Good. Blinking. Okay. Going to ask him again, are you breathing? And what was interesting when we did it with the other horse, it got to a point where he goes, oh, let me think about this. And he really got reflective about his breathing. And then whenever we would ask him if he's breathing, he would stop, you know, if he had stopped it or something, and we go, are you breathing? And then he would reset himself. He would go back into kind of like a contemplation and start breathing again. When the horses stop their breathing or they shallow breathe, they have the same symptoms that we do. They feel unsettled. They are reactive, overly reactive. They're nervous. They're, you know, all of those things, that the same things that not breathing in humans.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. So just think of this as it's just a little transition of, okay, I've got to learn to do something different with my body.
Yes.
And it's going to feel kind of weird at first. And then what they're going to realize is that deep breathing feels good. It makes them feel good and grounded and present. And let's see what he's doing now. Are you breathing, Remi? Okay. And you can look at his nostrils too and see, oh, he's doing exactly what the other horse did yesterday. Interesting. Okay.
He's taking some deeper breaths.
Okay. Let's just give him a chance here to just kind of look in his nostrils, see if they're just kind of gently opening, closing, like he's breathing through both nostrils. Are you breathing, Remi? Okay. You breathing, buddy? There we go. And this is so funny because he does the same thing as last time when he kind of just goes, huh? Is it breathing? That's breathing. Are you breathing? Okay, now what we're doing, we're watching his ears while he's breathing. Do you see him go back?
Yeah,
on one side or the other? Sometimes this is them looking for something, but his are kind of like all over the place. He's trying to figure out what's going on inside his body. And his ears are actually going to where he has blocks in his breath. And what we're going to do when we see that, see, I said it in my mind, you can let that go. I see that block. You can let that go when you're ready. And then he scratched his leg. Okay. So just like us, when we do our breathing, there can be places where that breath isn't moving through our body very well, right? Where it's sticky or it gets stuck, and that's an energetic block, and we can breathe that through. So as I asked him, are you breathing? See right there on his right side, he's got something on that right side of his body that's where he's blocking his breath. So all you have to do, we don't have to go to that side. All you're going to do is go, I see that, Remi. I see you've got some blocks there. You can let them go when you're ready. And I'm going to imagine in my mind the breath moving through his body. I'm going to show him. You can get past that block. You can move the energy, your air. Yeah, you can move it past that. Okay, yes, I see that. You can let that go. There we go. Okay, you can move it through that. So horses that get distractible, fidgety, they are like the people that stop their breath. And then they disconnect from themselves and from the ground. They become ungrounded. Then they become nervous because they're not grounded.
Yes.
Okay, so we're trying to teach him first with this breath. This breath is a place to go back and ground yourself again. Feel like you're going to be okay. All right. And so this is what I'll ask them. I want to be able to use this question when I see them getting distracted. I go, hey, are you breathing? And get them back in their body and back grounded. There you go. Okay. And he can take a little walk if he needs to. Just walk him in circles if he decides he needs to walk. Just let him go in a circle. There you go. So this is kind of like people with ADD. They're used to doing a certain behavior because that's a good boy. They don't know what to do with themselves. What we're trying to do is give him a skill, a tool. You feel kind of ungrounded. You feel kind of nervous.
Yes.
Are you breathing? Okay. Are you breathing? Good boy. And you want to see him start to blink right after that, and then get quiet. Good boy. And think about your breathing. Good boy. There you go. There you go. Your job is just to, through all of this, is you're the model of breathing. So it gives you a chance to really work on your breathing. All right. Good boy. So you're going to just kind of monitor. He's saying, oh, good boy. Did you fix that one? Did you fix that block? I know we've got the border collie monitoring, like, this isn't right. I had a border collie, so I know all about this.
She's an old-time Scotch collie, and she's a little over a year old, and we're going through some challenging phases right now.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. So, how you doing, Remi? That's hard, isn't it? It's hard, buddy. Yeah. So I
He's
would
much
guess,
more today than the last session, huh?
yeah. I would guess that when he's saddling, when you're saddling him, he's holding his breath, or
Yeah.
he has been. And so
Yeah.
this is, you're going to pause when you're ready to put the saddle on and just ask him and yourself, are you breathing?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. There you go. You got it. And it took the horse yesterday probably 10 or 15 minutes before he, he was fidgety every time I asked, and then he started getting into the breathing.
Yeah.
All right. It's just because it's different. So we just got to let him go through that phase where, God, this feels different. Am I okay? Yes, you're okay. We're okay in this place. Yeah. Are you breathing? There we go. Are you breathing? Okay. And what we're going to do is ask him the other question. If there's did we ask the one, is there anything you need to show me today?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so let's go in. I use this one with the breathing sometimes, because if I feel like they're a little fidgety, I'm going to ask him this question. It's like when we would go up to somebody and go, hey, how's your day going? But here's the difference. If I asked the person, hey, how are you? They could answer me with, I'm okay. Yeah, it's good, whatever. They could give me a one answer, short one thing. I'm good,
Yeah.
I'm not good, whatever. But if I ask them, is there anything you need to show me or tell me? That's an open-ended question. That means I want to know more information rather than how are you? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask him, is there anything you need to tell us or show us today? And we're going to watch his ears. See, he's going back to that back end again on the right. Okay, good boy. Good boy. I say to him, I see that. I see that. We're acknowledging that we hear him. We say then, you've got this. You can let it go if you're ready, which says to him, I'm empowering you. I'm not going to go fix you, but I bet if you put your attention on that, you could fix that. So whether it's tension that he's holding, whatever he's holding in there, maybe a little bit of past trauma of something, there you go, good boy. Thank you, I see that. I see it. You can let it go when you're ready. This is how I start my day with horses. I ask them anything. Oh, see, each time he's done that same thing. This is a release. Good job. Good job. Good job. Okay. And what I want to do when I see him release tension is that I want to praise him so that he's more inclined to say, I could let that go right away instead of holding it. Because what he's doing in his life is he's holding all his stress and tension until it explodes, or he's so nervous about something that he's got to be all fidgety and moving around to try to dispense all that energy. So what we're doing when we ask the question, are you breathing? Anything you need to show me? We're going to teach him, don't hold those things in. Don't hold them till they become an ulcer. Don't hold them in. Okay? And what really is interesting about this question is that it starts to build this deeper bond, because the horse goes, what, you're actually asking me something about me and you're waiting for me to answer? And you noticed when I did answer? It blows their mind at first. Sometimes I ask horses this question and they're kind of looking around asking, are you talking to me? And they're like, who are, and I go, anything you need to show me? And then they go, I think you are talking to me. Well, yes, back here, and I watch their ears and go, oh, I see that. And I see that, Remi. Oh, yes, I do. You can let that go when you're ready. So everything they're telling me, I'm going to listen to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go in and fix it, but I'm going to tell them what they could do to fix it. You can
Yes,
let it go. You could breathe. That's
Yeah.
a good boy. You can let it go. And so what we're doing is teaching him a new way of dealing with his life. Instead of getting, pulling on you or doing this, he can be okay. Yeah, you can be okay. So sometimes horses like him don't feel good in their body because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel, it feels like it betrays them somewhat, or they're not really connected. We're going to get to the connecting all your pieces place here in just a second. But I want to make him so that he feels like he can trust himself, because trust begins with ourselves, right? We have to
That's
trust
right.
ourselves before somebody could trust us. Same with the horse. He's got to trust himself that he could handle things, and then he can trust us. Okay. So we're working on all of these things. Good boy. Okay. So any questions about that second question we're going to ask?
No, that makes perfect sense. So,
Okay.
and they show us in a way, generally, mostly by pointing their ears towards the
Yeah.
body part.
Yeah, you're going
Or,
to watch mostly their ears. Just if they don't point somewhere, but you feel like they were answering, they can be really, really subtle. And
yes.
if you think they said something to answer you, you just go, oh yeah, I see that. You can let it
Yes.
go. Sometimes horses are really obvious. I've had horses where I go, anything you need to show me? And they take their head and they point to the spot. It's right here. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I see that. I have one horse it was fascinating. I asked him, I had never met him. He's on a Zoom call. He comes up to the camera and I say, hey, anything you need to show me today? And he turns around with the camera and puts his butt so it's taking up the whole camera. And I go, well, I see that. You could let that go when you're ready. He turns back around, backs up against the wall of the stall, and scratches his butt for a good half hour.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
just really hard. And I go, oh, he's got a lot of stuff he's held in that spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And it was really fascinating because after he was done, he goes, ha, got rid of that. Thanks for asking. It was so cute. So all of the expressions can be really different, and you could play with, since you got other horses, you could ask them that and you can see how they respond to
Yeah.
that question, because they're actually listening. Okay, so Remi, anything else you need to show us here? We're going to start and we're going to go through a couple more questions. I have 4 main questions that I ask a horse. Okay, so are you breathing? Anything you need to show me or tell me? Those are 2 of them. All right. The next question, this is one where he's going to have to think about this one. I'm going to ask him, are your pieces connected? And what this means is, all of your body parts connected to each other? Are they all communicating with each other? So when we think about getting stressed or even going through our life, we disconnect parts of our body. Like most humans are disconnected from their main body. They have a human head up here and then their body comes along, but they have
Yeah.
no communication between them. They don't know what's going on here. And
Yeah.
horses can do the same thing. And you've probably heard people say, wow, that looks like a different horse in front than the one in back. I'm
Yes.
riding 2 different horses. Well, that's because their pieces aren't connected. They're not fully communicating. Okay, so what we're going to do now on this question is we got to make sure our pieces are connected, and then we're going to tell him this is what you do. So when I'm doing my breathing, I just go back in my breathing for a moment, and I'm going to ask, are my pieces connected? And I'm going to think about, in my mind, connecting my feet to the ground, and then connecting my feet to my legs, to my hips, to my torso, to my shoulders and arms, to my neck, to my head, to my brain. Okay. So I'm just kind of thinking about locking all those pieces together.
Yeah.
Putting them together. Okay. I think of this kind of like, sometimes I think of the little train sets we had, and we would put our like cars and hook them together, right? So I want to make sure I can model that in my mind, okay? And are my pieces connected? Okay, they are. Now I'm going to ask him, are your pieces connected? And I'm going to imagine, like I did with the breath, are your back feet connected to the ground? And then your back feet connected to your back end, to the middle part of your body, your shoulders, your neck, to your head. So you see, I'm going the same direction that I did with my breath. So everything moves in that same fashion. So, okay, I'm going to ask him, are your pieces connected? And you just do that visual of locking all his pieces together. Oh, see, he went into thinking here. Are your pieces connected? Okay. Locking them all together. Good boy. Putting your pieces together. And I really want to emphasize the fact that he locks his pieces to the ground. You know, that's the first thing, is that he locks his back feet to the ground, that they get connected to the earth. Okay, good boy. There you go. Okay. All right. Okay, so when this one here, when we think about our train, if we didn't lock all the pieces, or we were missing one of our cars, the train would take off and leave some of them behind. So sometimes we can have a missing piece. And this is an interesting concept here. Sometimes people take a piece of us, a piece of our personality, a piece of who we are, or we lose it. We lose a sense of ourselves somewhere along the way. So what I want to do with this horse, I'm going to ask him then, because I feel like might be missing some pieces. I'm going to say, are you missing any of your pieces? And if you are, you can go look for them and put them back to where they were when you were born. Put all your pieces back together. Go find that piece. And if somebody took a piece, you can go ask them for it back. And go put them back in.
And showing now.
Yeah. Okay. So we can let him, sometimes horses will put their head down and kind of sniff on the ground like they're looking. Okay. And there you go. Can you find the pieces? Any missing pieces? And one of the missing pieces, I'll ask him, are you missing your peace of mind, your PEACE? Because we can lose our peace of mind somewhere. Okay. So I'm going to show him what that feels like when you find your peace of mind again. There you go. Find your pieces, your peace of mind. And this question can be an ongoing one, because the first time I asked them, they're kind of confused. I don't know. Never thought. Did somebody take a piece of my personality, a piece of my confidence, a piece of, it could be anything. I'm thinking with him, it was something about his confidence in himself that he's missing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go find that confidence piece if you want and put it back in. So it's interesting because I just got really hot. That's usually an indication of being mad or anger or something. Did somebody take something that you got mad about? They took it? Or you gave it away? Sometimes we give away our pieces willingly. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Find those pieces. Put them back in where they go. And a lot of times after this session, the horse will go back in. We've asked these questions and they'll go back in and process it when we put them away. and they're by themselves. So I tell him, you can go look for all of those. Whenever you want to, you can find all your pieces, put them back in. Okay. Go ahead. So he does feel a little more unsettled this time, but I think if you're patient with him, we've kind of stirred up some things, and all the pieces have to come back and kind of reassemble. So he may feel a little bit off for a little bit as he tries to put himself back together, because he's been operating without full pieces for a while. Okay. All right, you can do it.
Me today, which he normally doesn't do.
That's okay, because we're asking him hard questions. These are really hard questions. And he doesn't know what to do with them at this point, and we're just going to be with him and say, it's okay. And sometimes people are afraid of this struggle place, you know, that it's like, this is horrible, it's getting worse, it's not getting better. No, sometimes this has all been under the surface.
Yeah.
Right. And now this is what under the surface really looks like. This is what his body looks like inside, and he's keeping it together as best he can, but he's got this turmoil going on inside of himself. You know, it's like the people who go through life and you think, oh, they're all put together, and they're really not. They fall apart when they get home, or they're not really, they just have a facade that they put up that, yeah, I got it all together.
Yeah.
And they don't. It's okay, buddy. That's a better breathing. Good boy. There you go. Okay, good. And he let go of some gas. We want to see that. Yeah, you can do this. It's going to feel really weird to put pieces back that you've lost. We've got to give him time to go, oh, okay, that's what that feels like. Good job. You're doing good, Betty. See his little lip quivering? This is when we know he's got some trauma in there. You go, I see that, buddy. You can let that go. When you're ready, you can let that go. I know. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. Take a breath. You can let it go when you're ready. I see that. So I'm having this conversation now with him as he's working on this. I'm noticing things. I'm saying, I see that. Good boy. See that? Oh, good boy. And then let him walk. Okay, good. All right. That was really good work on his part. Okay, and you can just let him graze for a second, and let's give him a break, because that was a big one.
Yeah, that was amazing. That's Dr. Susie, this is amazing because it's really basics for all beings, really. He most certainly had trauma during training too.
Yeah, that's what likes coming up. And I was starting to cry on this time. I wasn't having the emotion, but it's like, wow, he's got some stuff he's held in there about.
Yeah. And to some, you know, things that I probably did to him too, not knowing better, you know? Yeah, I mean, we do things that we think is the right, which is a domineering position, you know? And so, yeah, this is so powerful. This is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for
helping these horses and helping people to see the light. This is really amazing. Yeah, I definitely want to continue to work with you.
Oh,
cool. It feels deeply so, I don't know what the right word is. Existential, essential. Yeah. So important. It's amazing.
It's you know, I didn't come up, the horses told me these 4 questions is in essence, it's kind of been a thing where as I'm watching, it's like, what question do you want me to ask you?
Yes.
And that thing about the pieces, you know, sometimes people make fun of me with that question, and it's really hard because horses are not that deep. They're not as intellectual. They don't care. And somebody said, well, you should be naming the exact piece. Which exact piece are we connecting? It's like, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're just there saying, hey, are your body parts connected? And when I use the word pieces, somehow horses understand that, but I make the visual of it. They don't
Yeah.
need any more complexity to that. And what I'm finding is how profound these questions are for horses, because nobody's ever asked them about themselves.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna cry because it's like,
It's true. Yeah, really.
how do
It's
you,
true. It has me tear up too. It's absolutely true. Nobody takes the just being told what to do and how to do, but nobody stops and asks, where are you? Are you? Yeah.
I see
It's
you.
incredible. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
you.
And
Yeah.
and see, that's what the thing is, all of this stuff, when we breathe, it brings up their stuff. And what I say is, hey, I see that bothers you. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I see that. And you could let it go. And
Yeah.
we're just providing, through that breath of us breathing slowly and fully, we're just providing this safe place for
Yeah.
them to say the things they need to say. And sometimes it can look ugly, and sometimes it can be hurtful, and they lash out, or they'll do some, say, oh, I'm going to bite you, or I'm going to try to bite the air. If I thought something like that, I'll have a barrier between me and the horse. But anytime you ask that question, you're going to get the truthful answer from them. This
Yeah.
really bothered me.
Yeah.
And I go,
Yeah.
oh, wow, I see that did bother you. Okay,
Mhm.
I understand, I empathize. I never correct a horse if I'm asking these for, I'll tell you the fourth question here. I never correct them when I'm asking those, because then that means you're not safe to answer. Because I got in trouble and you put me back in this place.
Yeah.
So make sure if you ask questions, you're safe, you feel safe, or you feel like, okay, whatever came up, I can handle this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Let me
that,
go get him back. He's leaving.
oh,
Look,
okay. I'm gonna tell you that if do you want to bring him back for a second and we'll ask the final question, or?
yes. I'll go
Okay,
get him.
take your time.
There we go.
Okay, Betty, you did so good. You did so good. And just know again, his body and his mind are going to be kind of in flux here for a little bit, because we've opened him up to saying, what he really means inside and all of this stuff. And it's going to be a little confusing for him. So you just go, oh, okay, that's an interesting behavior that came up. So don't get freaked out if something changes that's big. You can, email me if you have a concern about something or have a question. Okay. So we've got through our three of the questions. The last question that's really important, because we're going to want this horse to have emotional balance. Okay. So I think of this too as my train set. If I've got all my cars all hooked together, but one of them's out of alignment and it's leaning a little bit, it's going to take all the other cars and take them off track. You're going to derail. So I think of this in the same way of our emotional stability. If there's something in our emotional self that's not healed, or it's keeps derailing us for some reason, we're never going to feel emotionally balanced. And our physical balance follows our emotional balance. If we're not emotionally balanced, we cannot be completely physically balanced. Here's wherein lies a lot of the body work problems. They fix the horse's physical alignment, but it keeps going out of alignment because it is driven by the emotional body, and that they never work on the emotional part of the body. So they're always chasing the physical. I got to fix it. When I want to work the opposite direction. I want to go, is your emotional body in alignment? Then your physical body will follow it. Okay. So you can think of it as somebody that's really depressed or something, and they walk hunched over with their head down and all that. And you could tell them, stand up straight. And they could do it for a second, but they're going to go back to that posture because the posture reflects their inner self, right? So here we go with the horses. My next question, once I ask him, are your pieces connected? Now, are your pieces in alignment? This is a whole different question. And the way that I model this for the horse is that I think of stacking my body parts one on top of another inside my body. So as I go up, I think of, okay, I'm stacking everything. It's going in a straight line. I'll feel my actual kind of spine straighten or lengthen upwards. And then I feel my shoulders expand and my chest, or my shoulders drop and my chest expand. And what I'm doing is I'm showing this horse alignment. It's very interesting that when I do the alignment piece, a lot of times they'll raise their thoracic sling, they'll raise their shoulders or their withers. And so he's kind of thinking, I'm going to show him now, are your pieces in alignment? Okay. And I'm going to show him what that means. You stack all of your pieces in a straight line. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. So he got a little bit of that. What this is going to look like on the outside of him is that he's going to square up. He's going to square up. Front feet are going to get in alignment. Back feet are going to get in alignment. And his one back foot will usually cock, just kind of rest on the tip of his hoof. And I call that on point, like in ballet. I like to use that analogy of ballet on point because a ballet dancer has to be internally in alignment and really strong internally to be able to go on point and start dancing on point. Yes. And it's very interesting that horses go to that little place where they'll cock that back foot. So we're going to ask him, are you in alignment? And I'm going to model that, what that feels like. And here's where you let him rearrange his body. So sometimes you'll see him rocking, if he needs to move. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. He's letting go of some stuff. He showed me, you'll go back and watch this. He showed me his ear go back to his back end. In my mind, I said, you can let it go. And then he licked and chewed.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. All right. Are you in alignment? Okay. So if you look at horses, when they're super relaxed in the herd setting, they stand in that posture with their front feet in alignment. And there we go. Okay, good boy. You can do it. Good boy. Let him walk. And when he stops, let's see if he'll come back into alignment. Let him just walk around, figure this out. There you go. So this behavior right there is searching behavior. Okay. You can just keep walking in a circle and there. Let's see. Are you in alignment? Are you in alignment? Okay. He's going to see if he can find it. You doing it? Are you in alignment? This is hard. But again, if you look at horses when they're relaxed, hanging out with each other, or just kind of really relaxed in their pen, they'll stand in that position of the front feet. I think the bay horse or the one back there is standing that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. She's staying perfectly square in the front. And in the hind, and cocking her left hind. Yeah.
Okay. That's the position that we know that they find that place of internal alignment. Okay. So we'll let him, you can do it. Are you in alignment? So this is showing us where he's got misalignments. It's in that, definitely in the back end, which is where he's been showing us all morning about where he holds tension. There we go. Oh, good boy. You almost did it. Yes, yes, yes. Look at, he got it almost in the back end. Good boy. You're working toward that. This is hard, isn't it? In this position, I feel like, yeah, you got it. Just tell him you got it. You can let it go when you're ready.
You got it.
You got it. They feel very powerful. They feel relaxed when they get in that position. Okay, so we're gonna let him, okay, see, you're out of it. You can walk around just asking him, are you in alignment? You can just take him on a little walk and see if he can find that place. Are you in alignment? Oh, that back foot did a funky thing that time around. Okay, you got it. You could do it. And you could just kind of keep walking. He's trying to find it and he's going, oh, this is hard. So the purpose of these 4 questions is to help the horse start to find their emotional balance point. And so you can see it involves about breathing, connecting their pieces and putting them into alignment. And then there'll be an emotional balance. Okay. And I always watch these horses that cannot see, he's stopped in the same position again. So there's something on this left side of his body that he's having trouble aligning. That's okay. You can do it. You can do it. So the struggle is real. It's the struggle. He's struggling to do it. That's why he's kind of ritzing around and doing all that. He's still going, I don't know. This is hard. I know you can find it. There you go. You can do it. You can do it. And it's funny, the first time when they find it or something close to it, I just praise the heck out of them and then I'll put them away. It's like, that's really good. You can find this. And what I want to be able to do is eventually all I need to do is ask them that first question, are you breathing? And they go, oh, I think I went out of alignment too. And they fix themselves and put themselves into that stance. So don't be discouraged if he doesn't find it today. Yes. Because he's working on it. This is part of his thing when he's discouraged or anxious or trying to find an answer, he gets more expressive, like trying to pull away and do that. That's his go-to thing. And you could just tell him, you got this. You can do it. You got this. You can do it. And you just keep modeling for him what emotional balance is. Good boy. There you got your friend in. Good boy. You could do it. You could do it. I think he's hard on himself. When he gets frustrated, he starts doing this. And that's really him going, I don't understand. I'm trying. It's not working. And we're just going to be there encouraging him. You got this. I'm not going to fix you because you're trying. I'm going to have empathy and patience for you. You got it. But all these other questions will help him. There you go. You almost got it. Good boy. You got it. You could do it. You can do it. He's like, I don't know. And sometimes this happens, you know, in our training horses, we take away their ability to fix themselves. Because we're always fixing them or putting them where they need to be. And then they kind of lose their confidence. They go, well, I think you should tell me how to fix myself. I'm like, yes. No, I'm going to let you find it. Yeah. You will be able to find it. And they'll be frustrated. They'll be, you know, like him. I feel like he's hard on himself when he can't get the answer. And it's like, you find it. Yes, you will. You will find it. You'll find your answer. Yes, you will. You can do it. And all of this little nibbly stuff, this is him saying, I'm trying, but I can't. And when he does that, you just block it, or I don't correct it or push him away. I just go, you got this. And I make sure I'm safe, but
Yeah.
I put it back because he's saying, fix me. And I'm going, no, fix yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
Fix yourself. There you go, good boy.
That really would.
Good boy. There you go.
They can regulate themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. And we all want, there you go. See, you can do it. There you go. There you go. So this energy I'm using with encouragement. You almost got it. You can do it. I'm doing that as I feel him searching, so that he goes, well, I don't know. I can't do it. I'm going, you got this. You can do it. You can do it, buddy. See his nose now. He's like, okay, you can let go of your doubt in yourself. Okay. You can there you go. He got his front end. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. Is he, I don't know what he did in his back end. He feels like he's closer in the back.
Yeah,
Nope.
he's closer in the back. He's almost squared up in the front.
Okay, good.
The back is closer together.
Could be. Good boy. And sometimes when they do the square up and back, their back feet are almost touching each other. So we're not going to worry about that. But again, we know that most of his imbalance is happening in his back end. There, yep, right there. He just told us. Okay, right there. Okay, you can align that. You can put that piece back in alignment. You can put that piece back. Are you missing one? Do you see him now thinking about this? And there's a little focus going on in his mind. His little lip quivering probably. You can let that go. If you have tension back there, there you go. If you have tension back there, let it go if you're ready. There you go. I see it. There you go. You're doing it. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. You got it. You can do it. You can do it. And what's really interesting is once they find their point of balance, they like it. It feels empowering. And
Yes.
a lot of times I'll see horses, once they find their point of balance, and I let them stay there for as long as I can. Yeah, feel what that feels like. And then I'll see them start to take a step out of it. And then it's like they stop mid-step and go, oh, that doesn't feel good. And they'll put themselves back in alignment. And
Yeah.
that's when we know we're getting there. Okay.
Yeah.
I want the horses to find their point of balance, their point of emotional balance. So let him walk a circle around and see if he can find that. And you've got your model of the horse behind us. That's what we're looking for him to find that place. You got it. And I don't want to put too much pressure on him today, but he's going to find it after this because he's doing a really good job. Yeah. Okay. Right. You find your place of balance. Okay, you got it. And this behavior is going to go away as he starts to feel okay in himself. Okay. And so your job is to ignore that as much as you can and just kind of lock that lead rope on your hip. And he's got a certain amount of play in there, but he always just hits himself, you know, without. He's going to go, well, this behavior is not working for me. There you go. You can do it. You can find it. And you can ask him, are you breathing? Breathing?
Are you breathing, Remi?
You're breathing? Okay, you got it. Okay, you got it. Okay, he's struggling. You got it. You can do it. And I just ignore this, and I know he's struggling to find that place. Good. Okay, see him looking around there in the ground for a second? You can find it. You can do it. You can do it. The dog's like, I can help find it. I know where it is. Good, you got his front end again. Good boy. You got your front end again. And just understand that if we haven't been in alignment, this can feel really weird. You know how sometimes you'll go, I don't know if you've ever had somebody do an alignment thing on your body and you walk off and you go, well, this doesn't feel right. And they go, no, you're actually in alignment now. Huh. There we go. Good boy. You did the back. There you go. You're getting there.
Look at this.
You're getting there, buddy. Good
He's-
boy. This is pretty good. There you go.
What a good boy. You spread out.
There you go. You can do it. And your whole job is to just be support. Not like a boy. There you go. Good boy.
He did
Oh,
it. Look at it.
Yay!
Right
This is
on.
where we end today. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. He's good. You're messing with my Zen. Oh, that was so good. I usually find that within the hour session, they can find it, but it's there you go. So we're going to end it right there because he found it at the last moment thing. That was super good. Okay.
Great.
Yay.
This is awesome.
That was so good. And the
Right.
first time is the hardest.
Yes.
Okay. And so what's the key when you're asking these questions when you're on your own is to give them lots of time to answer each one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So sometimes I've seen some of my clients, they go, oh, when I do it with you, I realize you give them more time to answer the question. Because it's not like, are you breathing? Are you, it's not a rapid fire thing. It's
Correct.
want them thinking a whole lot about each one of those questions.
Yes.
And as they think deeply about it, at some point, even like yesterday, I think we were 2 hours, we had this horse and we were doing stuff. He was kind of demoing. Within that time frame, he got to that point and all I would have to do if he got kind of bothered by something, I go, are you breathing? And then he would align everything. So I only needed one question then.
Wow.
But we first have to get through all of them. And then we kind of connect them into, when we ask that, are you breathing? We're already thinking about, are you in alignment? Are your pieces connected? That's already kind of put into that whole big question. And then they go, oh, okay, I'll go do all of that. And the interesting thing about the horse yesterday, at first, he didn't want anything to do. We had a group of about 6 people and he wanted to be way far away from us, didn't want to interact. At the end of it, and then there were 2 little donkeys in it. So we were doing them too in the questions and they were like, I have one of the times when the donkeys, they're like, I want to do the breathing. And he backed up to me. I'll do one where I put my hands on the back end and show him how to breathe. This little donkey turns around, he goes, breathing, do the breathing with me. And I'm like, okay. And then he just backs up and then I'm sandwiched in between these 2 donkeys. I've got my hands on his butt and I'm showing him breathing. He's like, oh, happy. And the other one comes up and kind of braces me from behind. And at the end of our little mini gathering that we did, all 3 of those were just with us, like having a conversation. And they were all interacting with us. And it was so cool because we didn't do anything to get that connection other than ask the questions. And we never really touched them other than I'll do the hand thing with the breathing. But it builds, these 4 questions build a deeper bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then it's kind of like we include them in our conversation.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's
really
awesome.
fun.
Absolutely. It's incredible.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll work on this and practice and then I'll schedule another session with you in a couple weeks.
All right.
Maybe.
Perfect.
It's awesome. This is just absolutely wonderful. I can't get
Oh.
enough of it. This is incredible.
This
Takes it really to what should come first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's where I start because I want the horses when I'm doing the training, I want to see where they go out of balance. Because when I'm training a horse, if they've got their emotional balance point and it's pretty much they'll square up. And then I start doing something with them and they start going out of alignment. their feet they'll stop and they're out of alignment. I go, okay, that's bothering them a little bit. I need to give them, okay, are you breathing? Are your pieces connected? I want them to always go back to their set point, that balance point, so that they start to learn that they don't have to get out of control, that they've got the ability to put themselves back together. And I'm going to give them time. I'm going to recognize when I did something that caused some pressure on them. And I'm going to say, I see that, and you can find alignment. And what it does is build resiliency in these horses.
Yeah.
They know that you're not going to push them past a point of what they can handle. And and then they can handle more. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but most people don't want to take that time. They want to just get busy and get training. But if you start with the balance point, your training is so easy. I mean, because you're not coming into resistance because they don't understand, or resistance because they feel uncomfortable and emotionally upset about something. All of it's such a cool thing. So anyway,
this is so helpful. Thank you so much, Dr. Susie. This is just awesome.
Thank you for believing. This is,
it really, but it's a difficult journey. Because when things get difficult, my protective mind or self wants to go back to shutting down. And I've been listening to him for a while now, or I've always been warned his personality and blah blah blah. You shouldn't give him a voice, and he'll take over and he'll hurt you and all this. And so he's been mostly shut down to do as you say, kind of. And so was my trainee too. But as I've given him more and more of a voice, and he's always been expressive to a lesser or greater degree, and now it's to a greater degree, and that's sometimes scary a little bit, because he's like pinning his ears and biting, and if he disagrees, or if it, I don't know. So it's an interesting journey, and it all starts with us.
It does.
It all starts with us to be centered and breathing. Yes, thank you. Practicing the breathing. It all starts with me to stay centered and breathing. And
I think, his big expressiveness is because nobody really took what he was saying, and he kept having to say it louder. Because he did. And what I notice is once they start realizing, you hear those tiny little things, like his ear go back, and then he goes, oh, I can talk softer with you. I don't have to be big and expressive. I can just, you hear me no matter what I say. And how subtle I say it. And I see them getting softer and softer, but initially you're going to see the big, I'm going to talk loud and I'm going to tell you everything that was bothering me, and they're going to be loud and expressive. Just know that's part of the phase of it where he realizes, no, I see that little thing. Okay. And he goes, oh, you sure did. Wow. Why I developed these 4 questions is it's a way, it's that bridge back to speaking softly to each other.
Kindly,
softly, and we see each other
being heard.
Absolutely.
Your work is amazing, Dr. Susie. I'm so excited. So excited to continue learning from you.
Awesome.
This is where it lies. That's where the secret is.
So,
thank you so much.
Horses,
I appreciate it. I'll schedule another session in a couple of weeks. You have a wonderful day.
You too. I'll get you the recording up today, probably.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.